Okay, I'm not going to tell you how the skeletal system actually, the individual bones and how they connect. I'm just going to give you an example of the types of joints and bones and the important ones and how the skeletal system works. This is Shane Roney's skeletal system video. The shoulder is an example of a ball and socket joint. It is actually given free motion of an entire direction. Not much else to say there about the shoulder. It does this to give mobility with the arm so that it can accomplish things, because the arm is our main productive thing in the body. The knee is an example of a one-directional joint. I'll demonstrate to you right here that my knee can only bend in one direction, for example. Not the band. I hate the band. It does this so that we can propel ourselves forward, because if our knees went in all different directions, I imagine it would be difficult to walk at times. Okay, moving on. Bones are the main structure of the human body. And that being said, without the bones, the body would simply fall over. We'd just be a pile of mush, muscle, and organs. And, sorry, I'm gonna stop imagining that. So, like the cell, it is the basic, it is our structure. And, that's all that can be said about that. The bones work by, for example, each bone has a specific purpose. For example, the rib cage is to protect the important organs of the upper abdomen. For example, the heart is located at the inside the ribs. Hint, hint. The two lungs are completely enshrouded by the ribs, and I believe those are the only two that are completely enveloped by your ribs. The pelvis, I know this is an awkward one, works by simply, it has a, similar to a ball and socket joint on the legs, but it's not entirely able to go the entire directions. It's more like, I'm not even gonna show you. It is the most abstract bone in the body, and what it does is that it roots your legs down. It roots your legs so that they can move freely, while also making sure that that you are still sturdy. Yeah, the body is really weird. I mentioned before, the knees have large amounts of cartilage. Cartilage is kind of like cushioning for bones. Otherwise, bones would be scraping against each other all day. You would, A, be able to hear it, which would be disgusting, and B, you would be able to not be able to do anything, really, because your bones would be scraping against each other in such mind-boggling pain that you wouldn't be able to do anything. Enough said there. But the knees have an extra amount of cartilage that basically serves as cushioning. And cartilage does serve as cushioning. For example, when you jump and land, about 82% of jumps put about 8 times your weight on your knees when you land. Well, that's a lot of weight. For example, I weigh 100 pounds, so when I land, after jumping, that was 800 pounds I just put on my knees. Ow. Alright. The skull protects the brain, obviously, because the one exposure, the one injury to the brain, and we are no longer functional, because the brain has to control everything, and if there's an injury to the brain, that's like cutting a wire so that power doesn't get to the right spot. Normally I'd be like, alright, so the skull has several opening sockets. For example, the eyes. The eyes are the largest germ receptors, and this is irrelevant, but just means that most germs seep in through the eyes. B, the nose to inhale. It's the most common way of inhalation. C, the ears. The ears are used to hear stuff, but that's not really skeletal. But what is skeletal are the teeth. The teeth are the only normally protruding bones of the body. They used to be believed to be the strongest, but it is now confirmed that the femur is the strongest. Although when you do break your femur, that is the most pain that a person can feel. I mean, it's more painful than childbirth. Of course, I don't know what childbirth feels like. Yeah. Okay, moving on. The spine, very important, the most important, actually. The spine is the actual direct connection to the central nervous system, which I'm not going into today, but as I said, the brain controls everything. Not everything. For example, I say it a lot. Reflexes. When you put your hand on a stove, do you actually have to think, oh, my hand is getting really hot, I should move it? Or do you naturally just take your hand off the stove? Well, A, don't put your hand on a stove. B, those are reflexes. And it is the something nervous system. I'll look it up and I'll tell you in a minute. But it is responsible for reflexes and bypassing the brain and the central nervous system in order to create reflexes, because reflexes are actually sincerely important. That being said, the spine is also used to direct stuff in the central nervous system. It's used as the cord that really sends the brain signals down, and then sends it through the net of the central nervous system. It's quite efficient. The spine, if damaged, is also paralytic, because it is like having a power jack work, but no cord. Can't plug anything in. Alright, so, I'm getting back to it. It is the peripheral nervous system, I remembered. And basically what it does is it's responsible for reflexes. I went into it a while back. I believe it's the cerebellum, and is the connection to the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Yes, it's it's not its only job, but it is that is part of its job. The cerebellum is a very small ball-like part of the base of the brain. It has the ability it receives neurons, and it is involved. It plays an very important part in motor control. That's all that can really be said about no, it isn't, is it? Okay, the skeletal system functions because the muscular system propels it. For example, when I move my arm, without the skeletal system, my arm would be a large blob and probably spinning around. Not nice. But if I didn't have my muscular system, for example, it wouldn't move. Because there's absolutely no pull of my bicep or the pull of my tricep. Anyway, that wasn't me flexing, just so you know. That being said, without the nervous system, it would all go out of whack too, because, look, if without me telling my arm to hold its position in midair, it would literally just not move ever. It would actually be kind of pitiful. I'm sorry, that's awful of me. That's basically everyone who's paralyzed. Their legs simply do not receive the brain signals, and they don't move. The jaw, that is something I failed to go into and went into the skull. I'm sorry, this video is everywhere. But the jaw, it is the thing that's moving. For a long time, I felt that my head was going up and down. No, my jaw is the thing that's moving. The joints are all the way above the ears, typically. And you can feel that if you put your hand to your temple and open your jaw. You'll feel a movement there, and that is the jaw moving. Basically just a part of the skull, allows you to eat. Yeah, just clarifying that, because that always confused me. I don't know why either. Anyway, I'm Shane Roney. That was my skeletal video. Hopefully I covered everything that I had to. Well, of course, I probably didn't. And, that's it. Thanks for watching.